Hi, Algebra 1 remote students. We did this lesson for Unit 3, Lesson 1 today in class as a whole class, so use this if you missed it. And also, we gave out new books today. If you don't have a new book, use the online textbook link and take screenshots or do whatever you need. You could print it out, you could write on another piece of paper, but do whatever you need to have that information down. Here we go. To organize this information, we're going to use a table. We can see over here that people had a choice between pen and pencil and lined paper and unlined paper. And the other thing we want to add is a row for the totals and a column for the totals. Sometimes your tables will have them that you use, sometimes they won't, but you can always add them in to help organize your data. So we're going to start with the second bullet point. If 40 students said they prefer using pen more than pencil, that means that the total students that used pen is going to be 40. And the next bullet point says that 45 students said they prefer using unlined paper more than lined paper. So that means the total students that used unlined paper would be 45. The next one says that 10 students said they prefer lined paper and pen. Lined paper and pen is going to be right here. And the 45 students that said they prefer pencil and lined paper would be right here. Check over your table here and see if yours matches mine. And then the last piece we could add in here would be that grand total down here in the corner of 100 students, because that 100 matches up with our totals going up and down. It matches up with these totals going side to side. The biggest thing is when you're looking at a table like this, that your rows, or excuse me, your columns need to match up with your totals, your rows need to match up with your totals, and your grand total needs to match up. Here would be your answers to questions 1, 2, and 3, and the big idea here is that these are a lot easier to answer now that we've made that table and organized the information. Flip ahead to your lesson summary. There's a couple of vocab terms here that are going to be important. The first is categorical variable, and what we're referring to here are these categories that are at the top and on the sides of our two-way tables. So this means that it's data that falls into one category or another, one choice or another. It's not data that we're taking out a tape measure and measuring or timing with a stopwatch. It's not that kind of data. It's just which category do they belong in. The second term to highlight here is two-way table, and that's this whole thing. Now notice that this two-way table has 3 rows in it. You can have two-way tables with lots of rows. Most of them we see are going to have 2 columns and 2 rows. In the fruit fly problem here, one thing I want to add is that even if your table does not have a column or a row for totals, you can add those in anytime you need. So number 2 here, how many selected fly offspring had white eyes? That's going to be the total here, be 18. And number 3, 58, that's coming from this row right here, that total.